Hello, everyone. You're welcome to this exciting episode of Finding Love. I am Grace Renner. Finding Love is a relationship and marriage show that instills the right foundation for marriage with the understanding that marriage is God's idea. It's a useful insight for anyone who is ready for the journey of marriage or who is married and desires to do the way the Creator has designed it, with the understanding that marriage is God's idea. You're welcome. So good to have you guys here. In the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about, intensively on commitment in marriage. And I always say this, commitment in marriage is one of my most important subjects. I'm so passionate about it because according to researchers, 75% of divorces in recent times are caused by lack of commitment in marriages. So you see why I'm passionate about it? Now, so we've been talking on the subject of marrying right, and we've gone through 3 steps. We started talking about, in the first step, we said consciously develop a relationship with God, or a solid relationship with God, rather. The second step I said was find you before you find the one. And then in the last episode, we started talking about, consciously become who you want to marry or attract as a third step. And we touched on physical preparation. Now, in this episode, we're touching on emotional preparation. Trust me, don't go anywhere. It's going to be very, very insightful. It's going to be extremely insightful. Don't go anywhere. Now, if you are a returning subscriber, you are too much. If you are new to this channel, maybe it's your first time watching, please subscribe to this channel. We're one big family here. Like this video, share it, comment. Please support this video as much as you can, and I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. You're welcome back. So emotional preparation. Now, emotional preparation has to do with consciously developing emotional intelligence. Now, for some people, it's developed over time, through experiences, with relationships and all of that, or living with people and all of that. It still has the relationships. While for some other people, it's consciously developed by reading books, getting to meet people, to know people, genuinely being interested, and asking questions and things like that. Now, for some others, it's a combination of everything. However, emotional intelligence is very, very important, in developing intimacy in your relationship or marriage. Now, emotional intelligence is that intelligence that helps you to figure out when something has changed in yourself or in your partner that might signal a need for an action to be taken, or just call your awareness to something. So it is so important. Now, the thing is, we can all enjoy the kind of relationship or marriage that we want through emotional intelligence and empathy. So that is why I've chosen to talk about this thing in details. Now, there are certain skills that one needs to develop, for emotional intelligence. Number 1 skill is this: sharp-witted emotional awareness to avoid mistaking infatuation or lust for lasting love. Now, if you're emotionally aware, you can actually differentiate between love and lust. Now, that thing that feeling when you go out on dates with certain people, and you can actually tell if they just want you for sex or if they are deeply interested in you. Now, pay attention to that thing. It's not assumption. It is emotional awareness. The second skill is this: acceptance to experience certain emotions that can cause harm on a relationship if left to deteriorate. Now, the thing is, being able to identify, certain emotions like hot temper, insecurities, obsession, and the likes, are signs of emotional intelligence. However, if they are not dealt with, if they are left to deteriorate, they can actually cause harm to you or your partner. So being able to identify these emotions, whether in yourself or in your partner, is some level of emotional intelligence. And the third skill is this: active awareness to help us notice what's working and what isn't. Now, this has to do with general evaluation. Generally evaluating yourself, your partner, your relationship, just to see, what is working, what is it, what should be added, what should be taken out, what you should focus on, what you shouldn't focus on, and things like that. Being able to generally evaluate your relationship or yourself or your partner is a sign of emotional intelligence, or is a skill in emotional intelligence. Now, fortunately, we do not have to have completely, developed emotionally to embark on love. Interestingly, some people falling in love helps them develop their emotional intelligence or helps to re-educate their heart. So, even though we do not have to have developed emotional intelligence fully before embarking on the journey of love or marriage, I'd also like to highlight the advantages of developing emotional intelligence. Now, number one advantage of emotional intelligence is this: it will help us not to choose the wrong relationship or wrong people or wrong lovers and end up in multiple failed marriage or failed relationships. It will also help us to manage our differences, conflicting needs and wants in a way that it will not cause a strain on the relationship or marriage. Number three, it will help us to keep the romance in a marriage or relationship for a long time. And then lastly, there'll be more, but lastly, the last I'll be mentioning is this: it will help to limit boredom and lots of quarreling in a marriage or relationship. So emotional intelligence is so important in marriage. So how do I develop my emotional intelligence? Now, if you've been following this series, we're more focused on personal development, because I said marrying right starts with you. And that's the series. That's how we've been flowing in this series. So still with the same energy, how do I develop my emotional intelligence? Number one, become self-aware. Now, emotional understanding is one fundamental aspect of emotional intelligence. Don't deny or ignore your feelings. Know why you are feeling a certain way, or know how you're feeling and why you're feeling a certain way. Okay, your feelings are legit. Don't feel bad for feeling a certain way. Identify what you are feeling and why you're feeling the way you're feeling. Now, in my bid to making excuses for people, I used to ignore my feelings until my husband called my attention to it. Now, you need to learn to accept your feelings so that you can deal with issues accordingly. Now, it is when we don't accept our feelings or ignore our feelings that we start to, transfer aggression and things like that. And the truth is, if you cannot identify your own feelings, why you feel the way you feel or what you're feeling, it'd be difficult for you to identify them in other people. And to achieve, self-awareness, self-reflection from time to time is very important. Okay, so why am I feeling this way? What am I feeling right now? Why am I feeling this way? Don't ignore your feelings. Don't deny your feelings. Your feelings are legit, because it is the gateway to understanding yourself and other people. Number two, become genuinely interested in or concerned about other people. Now, people who are emotionally intelligent are curious about other people. They ask questions, they observe, they show interest in other people. Now, if we can be selfless when we go out and just try to know other people, understand people, or when they come around, just pay attention to them, we would observe a lot, we would see a lot, we would notice a lot, you know. And things like, looking into people's eyes when they talk, subtle things like this is so important. Let me share this secret with you. Conversations are actually from the nose up, the eyes. Pay attention to the eyes when you talk to people. It's not from the lips. The lips can say anything, but the eyes can hardly hide certain things. And you look at people, you can tell, if they're being honest, if they're fraudulent, if they're flirtatious, if they genuinely even like you. These are things that the eyes will not miss. So pay attention. Look into their eyes when they talk to you. Since I started to pay attention to people's eyes when they talk, I've learned so much. I've come to know so much that a lot of the times my my observations are spot on, accurate. These things will save you from trouble, will save you from the wrong relationships, will save you from just investing your emotions in someone who doesn't genuinely like you, who wants some other things from you beyond, genuine relationship. Number three, become self-sufficient. Now, people with emotional intelligence are very aware of themselves. They understand, they know their feelings, which helps them to, meet their own needs. Now, self-sufficiency is very important in relationship and marriage. And I remember we talked about this in one of our previous episodes where I talked about, knowing that you're enough, just being self-sufficient and all. This is a very, very important character to develop, for a healthy relationship or marriage. Being needy blinds your eyes, but being self-sufficient helps you to see people for who they really are. Decide if you want to be with such people, or if they're healthy to be around. It helps you to just place people. They would not be able to take advantage of you or treat you like they're doing you a favor, because you can sort things out by yourself. You're happy on your own. You don't need anybody to take care of you. You can take care of yourself and things like that. That's what self-sufficiency is about. And this just reminds me of the story of Esau and Jacob, because sometimes when we're needy, we don't even look inwards to provide for ourselves. We don't look inward to see what we're carrying. The story of Esau and Jacob. Let me read this from Genesis 25 to about 33. Yeah. It says from Genesis 25 to 30, Genesis 25, 30 to 33, it says, "And Esau said to Jacob, Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red porridge, for I am faint." Therefore was his name called Edom. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright." And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me?" And Jacob said, "Swear to me this day." He swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Now, the story of Jacob and Esau reminds me of, self-sufficiency. Now, if Esau was self-sufficient, the moment Jacob said to him, "Sell me your birthright," he would have thought, how ridiculous is that? Why would you ask me for my birthright just for a plate of porridge? I beg, carry your porridge and go. He would have understood the worth of what he was carrying, and how ridiculous what Jacob was asking for. That Jacob was asking for too much, but because he was needy, imagine he said, "I'm dying. What is this birthright? I beg." He treated it like it was nothing. And that's the thing, when we're needy, we don't see what we're carrying on the inside of us, is what we can get from other people. And this blinds our eyes. Now, so it's so easy to actually point a finger on Esau and Jacob. But I remember, this reminds me of a personal story, a personal experience I think that was my first relationship. I felt the need to be in a relationship. So I was dating someone that I kind of knew wasn't right for me, because I got the signs from the early stage of that relationship. But for some reason, I just liked the guy so much, and I wanted to be in that relationship. And I remember telling him that, "Oh, I don't do sex before marriage," and he was fine. He said he was fine with it. But at some point in the relationship, he started cheating. Now, I found out he was cheating. He found out that I found out. So he didn't want to go on, hurting me anymore. Or maybe he just felt, what, this relationship is not worth it. And he suggested that we break up. But I was like, "Oh, no, let's carry on. Since sex is the problem, be dating other people but still have me as your girlfriend." Or more, how low was that? How ridiculous was that? But you see, that was my neediness. Those were my, that insecurity of being alone. Those were the things that played out. I needed to be in a relationship. Now, if I was in my right senses, I would have known that, oh, no. If sex is the problem, maybe we should pay attention to his own needs. Let him go, because I wasn't going to give up sex anyway. So maybe he should just go. That would have been the right suggestion, just letting him go. But it was that neediness, that need to be in a relationship, and I was willing to put myself in that place of humiliation, that place where, I knew that, okay, I didn't have this guy all to myself, but I was fine with it, just being in that relationship. I mean, it kind of relates to Jacob and Esau's story. Giving up your birthright anyway because you felt it was nothing, staying in an abusive relationship just because you wanted to be in a relationship, so if we can actually just learn and practice to be self-sufficient, it will actually help us. It will really help us to decide where we want to be. If we want to be in certain relationships, we'll see people for who they are, or no, this thing is ridiculous, I can't be here, or things like that. And I just feel the need to say this, and I'm not judging you, I'm not condemning you. Now, if you're dating somebody because of money, or you're sleeping with somebody because of money, please, this is a call for you to stop it. You have so much on the inside of you that you cannot just be giving away for money. Don't do that to yourself. You're carrying something so powerful, Look for something to do with your hands. Look for something to do with yourself. If you just look inwards, you see that you don't need to date anybody for money. You don't need to give. You are precious in God's eyes. You are a priceless jewel. So you need to see yourself that way and carry yourself that way. If you can look inwards, you can provide for yourself. Trust me. And this is not to demean anybody or condemn anybody. This is just me being led to tell you that you are much more, than you know, if you just look inwards. Oh wow, the time is fast spent. I'd have to end this edition right now. So we still have a lot to talk about in terms of how to develop emotional intelligence. However, because of time, I can't keep going. Okay, so please join me in the next edition and our episode rather, and I will talk more on how to develop emotional intelligence. Now, if this video has blessed you in any way, please share this video. Support this video, support this project, share this video, and if you have not subscribed, please subscribe. I remain Grace Rena. I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for watching.